I want to pivot slightly and go back to the 500-pound elephant in the region, and that is the People's Republic of China. And I want to come back a little bit, within that, to Senator Ted Cruz's letter urging President Trump to recognize Somalia. Right? Obviously, that's how he framed it. Not so much as he talked about a lot of the achievements of Somaliland, but again, I think his core thesis was, Somaliland is actually where the United States, need an ally to be able to actually regain some influence in the region. Now, you were in Somalia when I'm thinking the pivot of Somalia has actually happened to China. I mean, was there any telltale signs, so to speak? Was there any particular reason? I mean, obviously, the United States was, for all practical purposes, paying the bills, right? From security to budgetary support, a lot of things for Somalia.
The European Union contributed far more than we do. The EU never gets credit, but they actually write checks for a whole lot of things.
And that's fantastic. Now, obviously, but again, in terms of even the security contribution, like the Dana forces, the actual fight against Al-Shabaab, where U.S. service members have actually lost their lives. Not to mention the drone strike. So there's a difference. That kinetic, sort of energy that the United States was putting into Somalia is a lot more expensive sometimes than paying for an NGO, right? Now, so in your view, what do you think made Somalia made that pivot, to China?
I would have to say that as far as my observations and direct knowledge and experience, that happened. That didn't happen while I was there. China's involvement was still minor compared to elsewhere. So it may have developed more significantly since then. Certainly, it's in a lot of the motivation of the Republican leaders that I know in the U.S. regarding Somaliland. They know nothing about Somaliland. They know nothing about the Horn of Africa. It's China, China, China. Now, that's not true of all of them. Tibor Naj, who I've known since 1992, he is a mentor of mine. I served under him in Cameroon and Guinea and Ethiopia, and then he was my assistant secretary. He is someone who's deeply familiar with the region and the accomplishments of Somaliland. But some of the others, it's really China, China, China. That's all that matters to them. And I always argue against using other regions of the world simply as venues for great power competition without consideration of the realities and the striving for a better life of the peoples in that region.